know, being British, there are two things people from other countries think of when they hear my voice. One's the Queen and the other's Harry Potter. And you know what, I don't blame them. That's what happens when an author comes out of nowhere, spends 10 years writing the most popular books in the world, and then those books get adapted into 8 movies that gross $7 billion worldwide. Yeah, fuck it. I'd rather be known for Harry Potter than fucking One Direction. Ogly looking, puffy haired pillocks. But as with anything popular, something is bound to rip it off eventually. Remember Harry Pothead and the Marijuana Stone? No, nobody remembers goddamn Harry Pothead and the Marijuana Stone.
That's a fucking dumb idea to even make. Why would you do that?
No, we're not looking at that tonight. Tonight we're looking at a game that reinvigorates, no, redefines the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone story that we all know and love. This is Harry's Legend, a Taiwanese pirate game for the NES, or rather the Famicom clones that populated most of Asia's developing countries in the early to mid-90s. It was made by the same guys who made shit like Titanic, Samari, Kart Fighter, the list goes on. And let me tell you, this game is pure insanity. Remember how in Philosopher's Stone, Harry kicked the shit out of Uncle Vernon, fought Voldemort, got bitch slapped by a fish, bounced on a bed, played Wizard Pong with Aunt Petunia and a ghost, all before he even got to Hogwarts? What's that, you don't? Well then you're fucking stupid. Go sit in the stupid kids corner with your dunce hat, you stupid.
When a game has that kind of shebang going for it, I just have to play it just to see what's going on, because this sounds great. I just need to figure out how to make it work in my NES.
Our title screen greets us with an actually okay looking picture of Harry flying his broom around the Hogwarts castle, but don't expect any of that in-game. This title screen's a lying piece of shit. The damn thing ends when you get to Hogwarts. Seriously, look at the 5 stage names. Only the last one is labelled at school. What gives, developers? Don't you want your kids learning witchcraft? Whatever, it's fine. Let's just start our journey in the right place. Yeah, they copy and pasted the text from the book verbatim, word for word, which in all fairness does give an alarming sense of authenticity to this game, even if that sense of authenticity is completely destroyed in the next screen. Okay, I'm gonna ask the question, since when was number 4 Privet Drive a fucking Chinese palace? I mean, last I checked this was meant to be 1990, sorry, how do you take this and translate it to this? And why on earth are there so many rats and bats here? Are you telling me Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon can afford a fucking Chinese palace in Surrey, but they can't afford some kind of pest control? I guess you gotta deal with those damn dirty animals yourself, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that's how Uncle Vernon rolls. You know, this seems like a good time to talk about Harry's control in general. It's goddamn weird. Harry struts around like a rejected Saturday Night Fever audition and jumps like a Mexican flea in this near uncontrollable arc. And while that does let you hop around the stage at the speed of sound, the screen can't keep up, so you're just gonna end up smashing into something you can't see and losing half your health. Harry's got 2 attacks he can use to vanquish Death Eaters in various ne'er-do-wells. One's kicking them in the shins, and the other is punching them in the dick. Take your pick. Seriously though, your choice better be the kick. The latter has such a pathetic range that that's the only real option, and while it may be a bit slower, at least you don't get hit. Anyway, on our venture through the halls of Privet Drive, we come across Dudley, who really wants to show us how fast he is, mostly by squishing his gut around and barging into us. Of course, he gets the picture that obesity is a serious problem that should not be glorified when we beat him to death. Too bad Uncle Vernon doesn't see things the same way. Like father, like son. He doesn't move his arms the entire fight, he just sort of belly flops at you until you lay down and die. But like his son, enough kicks to the face and he disappears to leave you with, wait, is that Voldemort? I thought Voldemort attacked Harry personally when he was a baby, not when he was... Wait, how old is Harry actually meant to be here anyway? Given that this came out around year 2001, Harry looks astoundingly like Daniel Radcliffe in the last movie instead of how he did in the first one. But anyway, Voldemort is here. And unlike in the movie where Quirrell covers up his face on the back of his head with a turban, in the game he just comes right for you before you've even met him. Not to mention, he's a bit of a bastard to deal with thanks to the way he jumps around, hits you, then stands on top of you so that when you get up again, he hits you immediately. There's no recovery time, so you can't do much about that. But if you can get to the lobster in the top left corner of the screen, you shouldn't have too much problem with him in this level. Anyway, after Uncle Vernon takes you over to the island, despite the fact you literally murdered him, you get attacked by more creatures, including fish. Yay! You know, despite the nonsensical nature of this game, it at least looks pretty nice for a pirate game. I mean, considering the other games I own on my multi-cart are Super Mario 16, The Flesh Beast Chronicles, and Not Eevee's Adventures in the Sewer, Harry's Legend at least uses semi-original art assets. I say semi-original because a lot of them are reused from Titanic or whatever, including the entire opening level, seriously. So not only is number 4 Privet Drive a Chinese palace, but so is the fucking Titanic. But in all seriousness, they're good for NES graphics, you can't argue with that, just a shame the rest of the game didn't have that kind of polish considering how janky combat can be. But anyway, you know who else is here? Because I sure as hell don't. I seriously can't decide whether or not this is meant to be Snape or Malfoy. I mean, he's blonde like Malfoy, but he's also... You know, look at that face, that's fucking Alan Rickman, look at it. Either way, he's dead, so who cares? You know, I'm starting to notice a pattern here. Things get very repetitive after a while, and it's actually quite difficult to talk about the game itself because of that. Occasionally something new will pique your interest, but for the most part it's kick, 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 until you win. Voldemort seems to return for another round at the end of every stage, getting gradually harder every time, but for the most part it's a very ho-hum experience. Even the music is ho-hum, recycling the same 4 or 5 melodies throughout the whole game. I've heard of some people getting glitches where it freezes on a single note for the rest of the stage, but I've never experienced that. It's a little repetitive, but yeah, that's my only complaint. Around the end of stage 3 inside Gringotts, things start to ramp up a little bit. Oh wait, I assume this is Gringotts because, you know, it's a cave, and the text that comes before it is that little rhyme Warwick Davis kicks in the movies. Oddly enough, here is where a weird subtext that wasn't in the movies comes into play. The idea that even after you've already set on going to Hogwarts, the Dursleys still get in your way. For instance, Dudley's back, and this time he's like, "Oi Harry, look at all this money you got, I want some, have I shown you how fat I am, yeah? And even Aunt Petunia makes an appearance here. Right near the end of the level, she's hobbling around, probably screeching, "No Harry, you're not going to Hogwarts!" But of course, there's only one way to deal with problems like this. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you are seeing this correctly. Do not adjust your television set. There is an NES game that advocates assault upon the elderly. I mean, sure, it's a bootleg. Fine, I understand. But even in China, or Taiwan, or wherever the hell this was sold, why would you advocate assault upon the elderly? Well, maybe because Aunt Petunia's as tough as fucking nails. Seriously, if she walks into, prepare for an 8-hit combo, because damn, she gets you. Seriously, she's worse than Voldemort for that, and he's the main antagonist. You know, it's also starting to hit me here just how weird Harry's jumping sound effect is. This does not sound like jumping, it's more like some kind of shooting attack, and the doors make a really weird noise too. The hits sound fairly convincing, but the rest of the sound design will just eventually get on your nerves. Okay, level 4, Hogwarts Express. It's time to go to Wizarding School and piss off Christian soccer moms everywhere.
Whoa, baby!
And I know I was trying not to show the text, but there is a typo that just needs to be seen to be believed. Owls hooted at each other in a disgruntled sort of way over the babble and the raping. The babble and the raping.
The babble and the raping.
Raping.
Of heavy trunks.
I assume that was meant to be rapping, but holy shit. You can't just stop on the word raping, okay? It's not cool, man. It's not cool.
You know what else ain't right? Well, the entirety of the Hogwarts Express, for one. You see, not only does this train have 2 floors, but it also has beds, lamps, chairs. Oh shit, it's another fucking Chinese palace, isn't it? God damn it, no! I'm not fucking talking about this again. What is even their obsession with these things? Why the fuck is a train a Chinese palace? Chew, motherfucking chew! You know what? Fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm out of here, I'm done. Oh yeah, conductor, you might want to sort out these falling chandeliers and snakes. You know, just in case my crazy, abusive elderly aunt can't get through to beating the fuck out of me for daring to leave home. Although I guess I deserve it, since, you know, I just murdered her husband. This whole level is an absolute clusterfuck and makes absolutely no sense, in any way whatsoever. Snape turns up like 2 or 3 times with jaundice, and you bounce all over the place on these couches and beds. May I remind you, this is meant to be a moving train. And I swear, this is arguably the most difficult Voldemort fight in the game. Just, you have so few vantage points because everything's bouncy. It's really, really annoying. But level 5. Oh boy. Once you finally arrive at Hogwarts, things get really messy. Remember how I mentioned this? Got bitch slapped by a fish, bounced on a bed, played Wizard Pong with Aunt Petunia and Ghost, all before he even got to Hogwarts. Yeah, despite you beating her down several times, Aunt Petunia goes further than Dudley or Vernon ever did, and literally comes to stop you from going to Hogwarts at Hogwarts. Why? Why the fuck not? You gonna argue? Nah, didn't think so. Didn't think so. Game hasn't been making so much sense so far, what you expect now? You know, that fucking first cutscene, that had promise. It promised me a magical world of wizarding, not kicking people to death and playing Pong with my elderly aunt. Okay, I'm fine. Let's just move on to the next room. Right, I see what you're trying to do here. You heard about them playing wizard's chess in the book, and you took it to literally mean that Harry fought a fucking chess piece. This isn't even a knight or a rook, it's a pawn. Why does it take so long to die? And my god, every chandelier, every single one, will come crashing down on you. The fact that the tables are platforms makes it difficult enough to move around without them. You can't make your way past anything. And that makes the final battle with Voldemort especially difficult. Not only can you not get to a point where you can kick him, but good luck staying there if you find one, because he's gotten sneaky. He'll fake you out with a few jumps in place before he comes barreling towards you, and that whole problem with him jumping on you when you're already down and just hitting you again and again and again? Yeah, that doesn't stop. If anything, it gets worse here. So how the heck do you beat him? Simple. Camp out and wait. Be patient. Don't chase after him, because trust me, he'll hit you before you hit him. Just sit in one spot and kick only when you need to. And once Voldemort goes running, that's the end of the game. So what do I win? The Golden Snitch? Philosopher's Stone itself? A council flat in London? No. I get the privilege of being sorted into Gryffindor. I mean, probably because I threatened to beat up the Sorting Hat if I didn't get in. I mean, he didn't have much of a choice in the matter, but, you know, it still counts.
So is Harry's Legend worth a playthrough? No. God, no. Don't get me wrong, the novelty of watching Harry Potter kicking someone to death is just utterly fantastic, and that image is burnt into my retinas for all of time, but the execution is just too sloppy. The level design oftentimes feels unfinished, Harry's movement is clunky at best and unresponsive at worst, his repertoire of moves is all but useless, and there's literally no magic whatsoever, and there's no ending aside from, good job, you got sorted into your house, Harry. That's all for today. I'm sorry once again that this video took so long, there's just so much going on at the moment, but if you enjoyed it, please share with your friends, like, subscribe. I know everyone says to do it, but it really does make a difference to me. And I'll see you next time on Pause Break Reviews.